Hey, welcome back. Boyd Rollins here with the Pro Marketers Alliance. And hopefully by now you've got a WordPress blog online and you pretty much understand the basic essentials of everything you need to know about having your own personalized site online, as we discussed in previous videos. That was some really powerful stuff. So if you didn't fully understand that, you can go back to that training at any time. And don't expect that you can do this in 3 or 4 days. Perfecting your WordPress site is something that can happen over a year's time. I'm always adding stuff to my site. So just don't let that overwhelm you, and never wait to take action. I mean, the worst thing that you can do is always getting ready, and never take action. So what you want to do more than anything is just make sure to get content out there. Very important. And just start your marketing as quickly as possible. One of the best things that you can do is to start to grow your list. Now, what do I mean by growing your list? Growing your list really comes down to having your prospect opt in with their information. For example, their name and email in exchange for something of value. We talked about this at the beginning of the course. Now, when you start to get advanced and you start to apply some of the training that you've learned, you apply it, you see results, and then you teach. So once you start to see these results, you start marketing, you start sponsoring hundreds of people in your business, you start making hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales, then it's more than likely you can go ahead and go out and produce your own products if you decide to, and you can do trainings like this as well. And this is a good example of how I grow my list. I offer a marketing video training series. I provide something of value in exchange for a name and email. And then I'm hoping to build a relationship with my prospects that I can have them get to know, like, and trust me. And therefore, in the future, they'll turn to me for advice, and hopefully we can partner up and become business partners. We're here for the long term to work together. So this is what growing your list is all about. I'll tell you, once you start to get up there, 5,000, 10,000 people on your list, you are literally almost guaranteed, as long as these are targeted leads, you're creating a 6-figure a year income. Start going much over that, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 people on your list. If you're doing things right, you can easily be bringing in 50 to 80,000 per month. Now hopefully that makes sense. So let's get into it and let's run through how to properly work your autoresponders. Now personally, I love and I use and recommend Aweber. These are the two most common autoresponders in the industry, which is Aweber and GetResponse. Personally, Aweber, I just see that it's better tracking, better analytics, better reporting, better deliverability, all that kind of stuff. So if you're going to go with one, my opinion is Aweber. So that being said, I'm just going to click here on my Aweber and I'm going to go ahead and log into my account. Now once you've logged in, once you've purchased Aweber, one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to want to create a list. So to do that, you just want to go to My Lists, and then here you're going to create a new list. You'll see that your first list name is going to have a default name. Now I should also say this as well. The first time that you come into Aweber, you're going to have a default list already built. So you can actually go ahead to My Lists and edit your default name the first time. Any other time after that, you're going to want to go to My Lists, then you're going to want to create a new list. And there's another good reason that I get from a lot of people is if you're in multiple things, saying Empower Network, a network marketing company, you're also promoting an affiliate product, and you want to have a different list for each of these, you don't have to have 3 different Aweber accounts. You can have many different lists in Aweber as you like. And I'll get into that in a second. So here's how you do that. First, you just fill out the basic information. And I'm going to go ahead and close up the Setup Wizard list name. This is just for your own reference so that you know when people opt into your list, you know where they're opting into. So if I wanted to call this, now let's call this Training 2013. This is just a description of the list. So I know that when somebody opts in, I know exactly where they're coming from and what they're doing. The From name, when somebody receives an email from my autoresponder or from my email account, this is the address to go in this email. So Boyd at easyforyou.com. They ask that you try stay away from free accounts like AOL or Gmail or any other kind of stuff, which is not going to be a problem for you because if you've been through this training, you've already got a host account and you have unlimited emails. So you can just go in and add an email. And while we're talking about that, let me go ahead and show you how to go do that. So you just go to yourdomain.com/cpanel, and once you're logged in here, all you have to do is scroll down to email, and you just want to go to email accounts, and you find your domain name, whatever domain name it is, and then you just type in whatever you want it to be. So it could be boyd@easyforyou.com, then you just create a password, and then you create an account. Once you create an email address, you can decide to forward that email to your Gmail account or your AOL or whatever else you're using, or you can simply check your email from your cPanel. So that's how easy it is for you to create an email account when you have a hosting account. Now we're going to go to step 2 on Aweber's personalize my list. BoydRollins.com is my website URL. Email signature, I'm just going to leave that alone. Upload your logo. You can do that right from your computer, so let's just add a picture of myself here because I'm branding myself. And then we can go and connect your social media accounts. If this is the first time doing this, you're going to have to add the social media accounts. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just follow the directions. Global text snippets, that's something that for now you don't really need to worry about. And let's go into confirmed opt-in. Now, what does confirmed opt-in mean? It means, say, for example, if somebody is on my website and they put their name and email in, well, instead of them going directly to the page that I want them to go to, they're going to be sent to an Aweber page, and then they're going to get an email asking them if they're sure that they want to be on my list. Then they have to click again to be forwarded to the page that I want them to go to. So personally, I don't like that. I want to send my prospects directly to where I want them to go, right after they opt in. So as soon as they opt in, they go exactly to the page I want them to go to. The one downside to that is that sometimes people can put in fake names and fake emails. This is where you just have to have good enough lead magnet that they're going to want to subscribe to your list. Now, what's the purpose of putting in their name and email for a 14-day video training series? Why would they take a fake email and put it in there if this is a 14-day course? Makes no sense. Obviously, this is going to be emailed to them. So if they have a fake email address, they're not going to get the content. So that's why you have to have good enough lead magnet to make sure that your prospect puts in the right information. So because I have that turned off, I do not need a success page. I'm going to go ahead and save the settings, and we're done with creating a new list. The good thing about that is that Aweber is only $1 for the first month. So what Empower Network does for you, it enables you to use your Aweber account for the first month, all for $1. You could be set up in marketing by tonight, get your first couple of sales in within the first few days or 2 weeks, and you're already in profit right away. So now let's go into messages. Follow-up. Now here is something that the first time you get started with your Aweber account, this will take most of the time. I wrote 40 follow-up messages for my team, and I share these messages with my teammates. So when somebody partners up with me, they get a code from me, they copy that code, and they paste the code in. They load the campaign, and I do this for all my teammates as well. So they already have 40 messages. They just have to change the links with their usernames, and they're up and running. They've got all the follow-up messages. Now, just in case you don't know what a follow-up message is, as soon as somebody opts into your autoresponder, they're redirected to the page that you want them to go to, and they're sent their first follow-up message in my autoresponder. So you can see my message number 1 goes out immediately with a 0. So the very first message goes out immediately. They receive this message. The second message goes out 1 day after. The third message goes out 1 day after that one. The fourth message goes out 1 day after the last one. So you can see that it's a continual follow-up process, and that's how follow-up messages work. You can go in and actually create your own follow-up messages. I usually like to do them both in HTML and plain text. So as soon as somebody opts into my Empower Network site with their name and email, they're instantly sent to a presentation. And they're directed to that presentation, but for any reason that they leave the presentation early, for whatever reason, they're going to be sent this follow-up message. Now, we also talked about this in the WordPress tutorials on how you do hyperlinking. Well, it works the exact same way with Aweber. Say, for example, I just want to say, click here to find out how to create wealth the easy way. Now, what I would do is highlight it and click on the hyperlink, just like we do in WordPress. I can paste in the video, now that it's hyperlinked, so that when somebody clicks on that, it sends them right over to my video. Same idea would work down here. I'm going to go ahead here and click on here and copy this and paste it in there as well. Okay, the same deal works with images. This is an image right here that I've already put into my autoresponder follow-up message. And a good example of this is I took a screenshot of my video and actually include this image of the video, not the video itself, in my follow-up message. We can't put the video on the email, but we can make it look like a video on the email. I'm using Snagit to take my screenshot of my video, and I'm going to just save that to the desktop. And then I'm just going to upload that image, copy the URL for the video here. It looks like that's a little too big for my liking, so I'll just resize that. You just click on this and adjust it. So even though it looks like there's a video in my email, it's not really. But when somebody goes to click the play button, it'll take them right to that presentation. Make sense? That's linking in images. Now you can go put in bold and italicize and underline and highlight, make things red, all that kind of stuff, as you can see here on the top. Alright, and then after you're done with that, we can preview what it's going to look like. Just go over here and test. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and save the message, and that'll be my first message. Now it's been proven, and you may have even noticed this before, that people like these formats to stay thin. Even though they have these long wrap lines here in Aweber, you want to keep your text at a certain width. If you keep them too far wide and you have a lot to talk about, people's eyes get tired very quickly, and they usually don't read all the way through the email. They usually delete it beforehand. So if you keep it thin, like this, that's much easier for people to read. Now to make the text box thinner, click inside the text box. You'll see a black box popping up here. Then click vertical split. This puts in vertical columns. Then you can use your mouse to move the right border to the width that you like. So that's how you do messages and follow-up. From there you can also do a broadcast. It's the same way as follow-up messages. Once you start doing this, once you start building your list of a couple hundred people, or maybe even it doesn't have to be that many, it could be even 10 people. Once you grow to your list to say 5 or 10,000 people, you can literally send out one email and bring in thousands upon thousands of dollars almost instantly without fail. That's just creating a broadcast and sending out a message. Now again, don't spam people. Really try to provide value. Always think about what your prospect was and then offer the solution. It's not always just about trying to make money. There are real people in the other side here, and you have to realize that these are not just clicks. These are not just people clicking ads. These are people with emotions and people that have feelings, and you have to treat them as such. You're here to build a long-term relationship with these people. So that's what it comes down to when you're creating a broadcast. One last thing, Aweber allows you to create web forms. These are for collecting email addresses that people opt into. I don't personally use this because I use 10-minute pages and they do all of it for you. I'll discuss that more in the capture page video training. Optimized Press also creates web forms that tie into Aweber. So if you're using 10-minute pages or Optimized Press, you don't need to use Aweber's web forms. Aweber's training on this is pretty straightforward though, so if you want to go that route, you can. Now you have your autoresponder set up. When you write your follow-up and broadcast emails, here are a couple of things to remember. Make sure to give your prospect what they're looking for. Find their problem, offer them the solution. Know your prospect's hot buttons and the benefits they see. This comes down to making sure that you're marketing or targeting your market. So don't overload them with too much useless information. Give them something they can use. If you make a promise to deliver a free report, offer a tool, always deliver and always add value. And always try to over-deliver if you can. Be truthful. Dishonesty is never going to get you anywhere. Let them know that what they've discovered is truly something of great value. If it is, post your comments on our site or ask questions on anything. Tell us what your challenges are. We're here to help. We look forward to getting to know you better. To your success. Boyd Rollins here with the Pro Marketers Alliance.